Welcome to Core Java for Beginners Part 4. In this Part 4, we are going to look at execution control and looping, and we are going to see about if and else and switch, which comes under execution control, and while, do while, for loop, and go to is used for looping. However, we don't use go to feature in our traditional programming because this will lead to confusion when you are going through the program. Okay, so let us start with the execution control. Execution control, we are going to see about if and else. The syntax is given here. If followed by a boolean expression, and the boolean expression can be we have seen that in the previous classes, previous videos. A less than b is a boolean expression. Okay, so that is actually called as a condition. So we are going to see if a boolean expression or a condition is given here. If this boolean expression is going to be true, whatever is there within this flower brackets will be executed here. If you have more than one execution statement, if the boolean expression is true, that is given within flower brackets, and there is an optional else part here. If this boolean expression is going to be false, then else part will be executed. After else, you have a open bracket, open flower bracket, and close flower brackets. Whatever is the statements, if it is which is written here in the else flower bracket, it will be executed. So when the boolean expression is going to be true, this will be executed, this portion of the code is executed, else this portion of the code is executed. And if can be written without an else condition also. If you can also write if boolean expression, whatever it is, if it is true, then you write all these things. Okay, so that is been explained in the flow chart. You can see if the control comes to a condition, this condition is basically a boolean expression, and if this is true, it will execute if code, this code will be executed. If this condition is false, then it will execute the else part, else condition here, and it will continue in the normal workflow. Now let us go to an example. Here I am going to accept two numbers and find the greater function. Okay, so what I am going to do is I am going to write a program where it will declare two integer variable, and I will be accepting two values from the keyboard. Okay, and I am going to use an if condition. If first value is greater than second value, then print that value, else print the other one. So by using this one, I can explain about if else. So let us do this one practically in NetBeans. Let me go to NetBeans. I will open a new project. In this new project, I am going to say as greater. Greater is the name of the project. So now it has opened a class called as greater, and it is available under greater.java, and you also have a main program. Okay, so now what I am going to do is I am going to declare integer a comma b. So you can declare either x comma y can be declared or a comma b can be declared, because both are same. It's only a name only. It's going to be different here. And as I said in the program, I am going to accept the value from the keyboard. So I'll be using scanner class to accept that one. So I'll declare an object of scanner class here. So what I will do here, scanner input is equal to new of scanner, within that system.in. Okay, sorry, system.in. Okay, now it is giving an error saying that it is not found. So what you can do is since you are using this NetBeans, it is easy to correct these errors. If you just click on this one, it will ask you, it will tell you what are the ways in which you can correct it, because we have not imported this java.util.scanner. That's the reason that this error is coming. So please include this, click on this import for java.util.scanner. So if you include this one, you can see that this scanner class is not giving any error here when I am declaring an object and when I am going to create an object here. Okay, so now you have declared two variables and you have a scanner variable also here. The next one is I am going to take a value from the keyboard, system.out.println, and here I am going to say enter the first value. Okay, so how do you get the value for a? First value can be a or it can be b also. So let me take the first value is a here. So how do you get the value for a from the keyboard? So there is a statement here. We have seen this in the first previous videos. X is equal to, the variable name is equal to the object of the scanner class dot next int function should be used. Okay, so please refer to the previous videos what function has to be used for integer, float, etc. So since it is an integer variable, I am going to use next int. So let me come to this one. I will say a is equal to input dot next int. So this is the one. So this will take one integer value from the keyboard and it will store it in a. Okay, so this is only a statement which is going to be displayed here. So I need to get the second value also, right? So I will copy this and put it here and modify this one. So I will say enter the second value, and the second value is going to be stored in b. So now you have declared a and b here, and these a and b are been used here in this place. Now let us go to the if condition. I want to find out which a, whether a is greater or b is greater. So I will say if the condition is a is less than b or a is greater than b, any condition you can put it, because we are checking which one is greater. So I am going to check whether first a is greater than b or not. If a is greater than b, then system, you display the value on the screen, system.out.println, and here you give the first value a is greater. So what I am doing here, I am just displaying the first value as a string, and a is the value of whatever we are getting from the keyboard, and e is greater, I am going to say that. If this is not true, if a is not greater than b, then I am going to display in the else condition. So else we can just say that system.out.println, the second value b is greater. Okay, so now this is the program which will explain you how to use if condition here in a Java program. So these are all the things which we have already seen in the previous videos. Now let me run this application. When I run this program, what is going to happen here? It is going to say enter the first value. So as I said, system.out.println, it is asking you the first value. So let me give the value as 10. Once I press enter, it is asking for the second value. You enter 20 here. So now which is greater here? A is not greater, B is greater here. So else part, this condition is going to become false. So what is going to happen here? It is going to display the second value B is greater. So you look at this one, the second value 20 is greater here. Okay, so we have done like this. Okay, it is also possible to use else condition, I mean not to use else condition, but however what is going to happen here, you look at this one. In this case I can remove this else condition, there is no problem here, there is no problem here. When I am saying here run this application, it is asking you the first value, so maybe 10, the second value is going to be 20, and if I press enter, the second value is 20 here. The output is going to be same if you are using else or if you are using if you are not using else also, but it differs when the condition is true. Okay, so when I am running this application, now let us assume that I am giving the first value is 30 and the second value is 10. It is giving first value 30 is greater and the second value 10 is greater. So for any condition you want to display either one of this one, in that case you can use else. In case if you are not going to have an else part here, you can continue with the normal program. So as per the syntax, if you want you can use else, or you don't want to use the else condition here. It depends upon your logic. Okay, so this explains you about if condition here. Now next, going to an if condition with another program. So what I am going to do here, I am going to take 3 values from the keyboard, which is greater I am going to find out. So here I am not going to use else condition at all. Okay, this is another example with if condition without else and by using logical operators. We have seen about the logical operators in the previous videos. We are going to use the logical operator also. Okay, so let me continue with the same program. I will declare 3 variables. Okay, take the third value also. Okay, c is equal to this. This is going to be the third value. So I am taking the first value here, second value here, and third value here. When will this a becomes true? When will be a become the greatest among these 3? It should be greater than b. At the same time, it should be greater than b also. So a should be greater than b. This is the condition here. Then ampersand and condition. So a should be greater than c also. So if these 2 conditions are satisfied, if a is greater than b and a is greater than c, a is the greatest among all the 3. Okay, the first value a is the greatest. Okay, similarly I don't have to use if condition here. I just repeat the if condition in this case. So I am going to say if b is greater than a, if b has to be greater, I will say b is greater than a. At the same time, b should be greater than c also. So is the greatest should be written here, that is like b is the greatest. Okay, similarly if I wanted to check if c is going to be the greatest, then I will say if c is going to be greatest here. So if c should be greater than a and c should be greater than c here, c should be greater than b, then c is the greatest. This is going to be third value. Okay, so here what I am doing, I am declaring 3 variables. I am accepting all the values from the keyboard, then I am checking which is greater here. This example will tell you when you are not using if condition, when we should not use if condition. You can write this program with else also, but it is not necessary. You can remove the else condition and you can write only with the if only. Okay, and here this is an example where you can use the logical operators, and I am using logical operator AND. So AND is nothing but whenever both are true only it will be true. Okay, if any one is false it is going to be false. So now let me run the program. So I am saying 10, 20, 30, which is greater here? 30 is greater. So the third value 30 is the greater here, is the greatest. Okay, similarly if I wanted to go with different values, 30, then I will say 20 and then 10. So the first value 30 is the greatest. Okay, so you can take this example, second example, for explaining for understanding the if condition without else, at the same time how to use the logical operator. Okay, let me go to the switch case. Switch statement in Java, this is very similar to your switch statement in C language, but it's an expression. Say for example, if you wanted to check vowels, if a vowel is going to be A, E, I, O, U, okay, you wanted to check that one, you can use a case statement here. Every case statement, the syntax of the switch case is going to be like this: switch expression. Okay, this expression means it is going to be a value here. Okay, it can be a value or it can be a expression here, a variable. Okay, so case followed by a value. This variable should be equal to this value. If this is true, then you execute the statement and finally say break. Okay, every case statement will be followed by a break. It is an optional again. The reason why we are putting this break is nothing but, suppose in case if the switch case is saying if the variable is not equal to this value, then it goes to the second case, then it goes to the third case. Okay, in case if the value is satisfied in the first case itself, it will continue with the second case, third case, fourth case, like that. If you don't want to do that, you can just break that and come out of that one. If none of the case statements are satisfying, then it will go for default, and whatever you have written under this statements under this default will be executed here. Okay, so this is the syntax for your switch case expression. Okay, let me take an example here. So there are some rules which we apply to switch case statement. So variable is used for switch statement, can be only integer, convertible integer, byte, short and character. You can have any number of case statements within the case. Each case statement should be followed by value and to be compared with the colon and the colon. The value for case must be same data type. Okay, you can have your logical operator within that case statement. So what you can do is you can write like that, and as I said, break can be used to terminate the switch in between once the condition is satisfied. Okay, so let us take an example. You can just go through all these rules, how to use a switch case. So let us take one example here. This example here, what I am doing is I am taking this example just to explain multiple things. Like for example, I am going to use command line arguments. Okay, this will explain you how to use the command line argument, and I am also having the case statements, and I am also having something like if condition, like x with if condition. I am having it here. So this will explain you about all if condition. At the same time, it will also explain you about args, the command line argument along with the switch case. Okay, so what I am doing here is I am just accepting the grade from the keyboard. Okay, not from the keyboard. Basically, I am taking as an argument. When I am running it, I just give the argument when I am running it. Okay, so here I am just declaring a variable called as grade description, and this grade description is going to be filled in whenever any case is satisfied. for example, so okay, boolean x is equal to true I am saying here, because I am using this x here. So whenever it is false, then it is an invalid grade. So I am going to have 4 grades here: grade A, grade B, grade C and grade D. Okay, so I am going to switch this grade, and this grade is taken from the keyboard here. If you enter A here, first it will check the grade is equal to A or not. If it is equal to this A, then your description, grade description will become excellent and you are breaking out. So what is going to happen here? After this case statement is satisfied, this is going to come out of this loop and it will check if x is true, then your grade will be displayed here along with the grade description. Okay, if this is going to be false, which means that you have entered a wrong grade, that is you have not entered A, B, C, D, you have entered some other character. So what is going to happen here? X becomes a false, at the same time it is going to print invalid grade. Once it comes out of this switch case, your if condition is false here, this condition is failed, so it will not display this one. Okay, and since I am using these two statements within this case statement, you should use flower brackets to just saying that you are using more than one statement within the case. So let us execute this one. I am going to say a new project I am going to open, and this project project name is going to be switch case. So SC I will put it. So I have opened a new one. Okay, so this one I am going to declare character variable as mentioned here. So I am going to say grade equal to, how will I take the value here? Args. So args, args is nothing but it is a string array. So if I give a character at the command line prompt, what is going to happen here? It is going to come to args of 0. It is going to be one string, it is going to take it. I am not going to give more than one string here, it is going to be one character, and that character is going to be stored in args of 0 here. It's like an array. Dot. Okay, what I am going to do? Char at. You look at this one, char at. So char at of 0. So what I am doing here, from this arg of 0 is nothing but it is a string. Okay, this string I am taking the first character. So when I give only one character at the command line prompt, it is going to store only one character in that string, and that too it is going to be the first character, and I am taking the first character. That means char at 0 means it is going to be the first character here. So what I am going to do here, I have got the grade from the command line, or as a command line argument I got it. So next is I am going to declare string grade description. So I am just initializing this by giving open bracket and close bracket, then boolean x is equal to true. Okay, now let us go to switch case. Switch followed by a variable. So variable is going to be grade. Why I am saying grade here? Because I am checking, I need to check the grade only. So I need to check the grade whether it is equal to A or B or C or D. Okay, so open this bracket and close this bracket. Automatically it will get closed here. So now I am going to say case. First case I am checking if it is going to be A colon, and since I am having two statements here, I am going to have open bracket and close bracket. So what I am going to do, grade description will be changed. Grade description is equal to excellent, and break. This break, why we are using this break? Once this case is satisfied, it will come out of the switch loop itself, switch case itself. That is, it will come out of this bracket, that is end of this bracket here. So now I will go for the second one, then third one, fourth one, and default. Look at this one. So what I will do is case 1, case 2, case 3. So now I am going to say here it is going to be B, okay, and here it is going to be C. I will change the description also a little later after changing this cases. Then this is going to be D here, then when any of these cases is not satisfied, I will say default. Default will not have any value followed by that. So in this case I am going to say I will make this excess, sorry, this is not required also. So break is also not required because this is going to be the last one, so can just leave that. So if you go to the default, here I am going to say x is equal to false, and then I am going to say system dot out dot println, and I will say invalid grade. Okay. So now if A is entered here, it is an excellent grade. This is going to be well done. And here what I have done is passed. Sorry, C is passed, D is failed, and this is going to be failed. Okay, and now it has come. We have done this switch case here. So if the grade is A, it is going to display excellent. I mean the grade description is going to be excellent, and it will break out of this one. Break means it will come out of this case. It will come to this place. Okay. Here I am going to check if X, then system dot out dot println. I am going to say your grade is A plus, I am going to say that excellent also. So I will say hyphen and then followed by grade description. See here I am just giving, I don't have an uppercase here in grade description here, but if I give an uppercase, it says that symbol not found because it is a case sensitive. Any variable is a case sensitive here. So why I am doing this print statement here? If I do this in the each and every case, I have to write this system.out.println in each and every cases here. Just to avoid that, I am using this if condition and I am printing it here. And this if condition will become false when it comes to default. That means if any of the cases are not satisfied, you are going to say false, and it is going to display that invalid grade. Okay, and none of the places x is going to be false, and by default x is true here. Okay, so now you can run this application and see. But when I am using command line argument, as I said, you need to go to the property. You just click on the project name, go to the project properties, and you have run, and here the arguments can be written here. So let me call this B as a first argument here. See here I am having the case A, B, C, D in upper cases. So I am giving the correct argument capital B. Okay. So I have just declared the command line argument as B here. It should display your grade is B and it will say well done. I am running this application now, and this we have written this, and now if you look at this, when I run it, it is showing your grade is B and well done. So your well done is the grade description which is written here as well done here. Okay. Then similarly, if you want to change to different value, you go to the property and change it here under this run, and you can say maybe you can put D is going to be failed. Okay. So when I am running this application, you can see that D is failed. Okay. Assume that I am not giving correct one, correct grade here. So I will go to the properties and I will change it as X. Okay. And I am coming out of this one. When I am running this application, what is going to happen here? It is saying invalid grade. At the same time, this if condition is not executed because X has become false. Okay. So this is an example for switch case, and this switch case is involving command line argument. At the same time, it is going to have the if condition. It is also going to explain about the switch case statement here. Okay. So now let us go to looping and iteration. Okay. So looping or iteration is an execution statement. A set of statement is repeatedly executed based on the condition. If the condition becomes false, then it will come out of the loop. Okay. So as I said, we have different types of looping or iterations: while, do while, for loop, and go to. Okay, we are going to see one by one. Let us take an example of while loop. While loop is going to be while followed by, within the brackets we are going to see the write the condition here, or it can also be called as a boolean expression. If this boolean expression is going to be true, then it will go inside. Okay, and as long as this boolean expression is going to be true, then the statements will be executed, and once this becomes false, it will come out of this one. So while conditional code, if the condition is going to be true, then it will execute the code block, then again it will come back and check the condition. If the condition is again true, it will come to this code block, execute it here. So it will go in a loop here, and if this condition becomes false, it will come out of this one. Okay, it's a very simple one, you can easily understand this one. So a looping, what I am going to do is I am going to explain you a loop with the example of printing 10 to 19, or we can just print from 1 to 10. Okay, so let us take an example like this. In a program, I will open a new project, and this project is going to be a Java application, and Java application is going to be while loop, W loop. So this is going to create a new program, and within that program, in this project, I am going to write the while loop example. Okay, so let me call integer x is equal to 1. So integer x is equal to 1. Here I am just saying x is equal to 10 here, but I am going to say x is equal to 1. Okay, so while loop I will say while x is less than or equal to 10. So here I am using less than or equal to condition. So this condition, as long as this condition is true, these statements will be executed. Whatever is there within this flower brackets will be executed here. So what I am going to do is I am going to print the value of the x, and the x value is going to be like this: x value is equal to plus x. Okay, So after printing this, what I want to do is I wanted to go to the next line, and at the same time x value also should be incremented. So what I will do, I will say x plus plus. You know, you have used increment operator and decrement operators. We have seen examples of decrement operator and increment operator. So I am using increment operator here, and after printing this x, I will also go to the next line by using slash n, that is escape character here. Slash n is nothing but it is an escape character which is allow you to go to the next line here. So I am incrementing this x. Okay. So how does this program work? X is equal to 1 here, while x is less than or equal to 10. That means this condition is true because x is 1 and this is, we are checking with the value 10. So it will come inside. When it comes inside, x value is going to be 1. So it is going to display 1 on the screen, and it will go to the next line, and then you are saying incrementing this x. X plus plus means it is going to be x is equal to x plus 1. So then again it will come back to this while loop and it will check. So it will be 2 second time, 2 is less than or equal to 10 or not. So again it is true, it will come inside. Second value 2 will be printed, and again 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 10 it will print. And when it after when the x value is going to be 10, it will come here and it will print 10 here in this case, and x is equal to x plus 1 will become 11. So when it comes to this while loop, x is less than or equal to 10, this condition becomes false, so it will come out of the loop. Okay. So this is how this while loop will work. So I will execute this one and show you the output. See the output here, x is equal to 1, x is equal to 2, x is equal to 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 10 it is going to be printed here. Okay. So the while loop can be used like this. So as long as x is as long as this condition is true, it will go inside the loop. If the condition is going to be false, then it will come out of the loop. Okay. So it is also possible to write like this, but what happens here, this becomes an infinite loop. Infinite loop means always the condition is true. So it will be keep on running this operation. So what is going to happen, it is better that you don't use this true condition, you don't use true condition here in the while, because it becomes an infinite loop. Okay, if you are using this infinite loop, you can use break to come out of that one. How to use it? Here you can have the if condition. If x is less than, okay, so if x is greater than 5, then you come out of this one. So you are breaking the loop and coming out. So let me run this one. This is going to print 1 to 5. So first time 1 is going to be printed, it is true. So it is coming and printing 1, then incrementing x, and I am checking whether x is greater than 5 or not. It is not greater than 5. So second time 2 is also not greater than 5. It is printing 2 here. Again 3 is also not, 4 is also not, 5 is also not there. Okay, so after printing this 5, what is going to happen here? It becomes more than 5 here. So it will break. When I say break, it means it will come out of the loop here. Okay, so you can take this as example for the while loop example. Do while is also very similar to while loop, but however at least once it will be executed here. Okay, the syntax is like this. Okay, so do the statements, okay, while the condition. That means when I say x is equal to 10, even if this condition is not satisfied, it will run at least once here. In the while loop, what is happening here is I am checking the condition. Based on the condition, it will go enter the execution here, execution block. But in the do while, first it will enter the execution block, then it will check the condition here. It is very simple. I will use the same code for do while. Let me open a new project. I will call it as d while, do while it is. So here I am going to say integer x is equal to 1. Okay, similarly I will go for if, okay, sorry, do, then followed by while condition will be x is less than 10. So here I am going to say system dot out dot println. I am going to say x is equal to value of x. I am going to print that. Okay, and the syntax is, once you write a do while, do open the flower brackets and write the execution here. Do this one while this condition is true. After that you have to give a semicolon here. That's why it was giving an error here. So that's why I have written a semicolon. The error has gone now. So value is printed here, and you say x plus plus. Okay, so once is what is happening here, x is printed, then x is incremented, and you can also use slash n also. Okay, so now what is happening here, x is printed, x is incremented, x becomes 2, 2 is less than 10, again it will go for the loop, it will execute this one, again 3 is also less than 10, it like this till this 10 is the x is greater than 10, it becomes in the it will execute the statements here. Okay, let me run this one. So now you can see that first time it has come inside and it goes up to x is equal to 9, and you can also say x is less than or equal to 10, you be inside this one. So the condition, if it is done, then it will go up to 10. Okay, in the while loop also we have done the same thing, x is greater than, less than or equal to 10 we have said, and do while also you can do this one. Okay, so when do you use while and do while? While we will be using it, your statement should not be executed if the condition is false. In that case you can use while loop. Okay, do while loop can be used whether the condition is true or false, at least once the execution should happen. Okay, so you can use your do while like this. This is the syntax for the do while, and we have seen the program of that. Next comes the for loop, and for loop is very similar to C or C++. If you have already worked with C language or C++ language, your for loop will be same. So here for initial value, what is the condition, and increment or decrement here. Okay, so then you have the flower brackets, within this flower brackets whatever is the statement which will be executed here. So it will say start, if you look at the flow chart, start initialization first, then it will go to the condition. Okay, initialization, condition it will check, and then come inside. After execution it will go to the increment, and then again come back to condition, execute the statement, increment or decrement, then condition, and then do this one. Similarly, initialization, condition, true inside the loop, update the counter, that means increment or decrement, again the condition will be checked. Like this the loop will go. Okay, if the condition false, condition becomes false, then it will come out of the for loop. Okay, so let us take an example. For integer I is equal to 0, you can just declare the integer variable within that for loop itself, for loop syntax itself. If x is equal to 10, I is greater than 1, and I minus minus, here I am using the decrement operator here. So your initialization is going to be 10, and I am going to decrement the value from 10. Okay, and here I am saying as long as I is greater than 1, I can also say I is greater than or equal to 1, till then you can print the value here. Okay, so let us execute this for loop. in the NetBeans. So I am opening a new project, and this is going to be a Java application, and I am going to say loop for. Okay, so this will open a new project and a new program will be there. Okay, let me declare integer I is equal to 10. Okay, you can just declare I is equal to you can just declare integer I, and within the for loop you can initialization, you can do the initialization. Integer I is equal to 10 semicolon followed by the condition I is less than or equal to greater than or equal to 1. Why I am using this greater than or equal to? Because I am decrementing the values. So accordingly you have to form the logic, you have to write the condition statement here. Okay, then I minus minus. So this example will tell you how to use your minus minus symbol also. Okay, decrement operator. So here I am going to say system dot out dot println, and within that I am going to print the value of I value is equal to, I will say plus followed by I. Okay, so if I run this one, first time I is equal to, I will declare this I here, and then I will initialize the value of I is equal to 10, then I will go for this one. This will be executed only once. Okay, and these two will be executed based on as long as the condition is satisfied, these two will be executed here. So the flow is going to be like this: first is initialization, then condition will be checked, then enter the loop, enter this statements here. After execution of this statement, it will go to the increment operator, the last one, and then again after doing the increment, again it will come back to this one condition, and then again it will come inside the loop statement here. So if I run this application, what is going to happen here? 10 to 1 it is going to print. So I is equal to 10, I is equal to 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this is an example for loop in our Java class. Okay, so take an example. I have an electricity board is going to charge the following rates to the domestic users. For 100 units, 40 paise per unit is charged. Okay, for the next 200 units, it is going to be 50 per unit, and beyond 300 units, it is going to be 60 per unit. And minimum of 200 is going to be charged for connecting the connection on the monthly basis. So write a program to accept the name, number of units consumed per month from the keyboard, and calculate the charges and display all the details. Okay, so you can do this program with the help of your loop and with the help of your if condition, etc. Okay, thank you, bye.